Thanks everyone for joining us. I'm hosting the Telecom Argentina keynote, sponsored by IBM and Blue Wolf. And my name is Flavio Lopez. I run the Salesforce expedition in Argentina with the team, which basically means running the program with Blue Wolf and Velocity and the local telecom team. And I am on stage with Maximiliano Valiente, Velocity, Fabiana Safar, IBM Blue, David Tring, also IBM Blue, and Dan Ford, Velocity, and they will walk us through the story. Perfect. So let's crack on. Let's start with Maxi. You're our star today. So what's the impact on the main view from Pablo? We have a quote, and the impact of the program.
Due to the merge that our company has been having with Cablevisión, is the biggest pay-TV player in Argentina, and Telecom, we have the challenge to move to a new CRM. The idea is to have a unified client perspective, client view, and in order to leverage that, we have to migrate of our customers' information to just one platform. That's at that moment we started 2 years ago. At that moment we analyzed different alternatives, and we understood that due to the volume that we were willing to execute, moving to one platform, Salesforce and Velocity's one was the chosen because it's the appropriate one and fits not only our current needs, but only what we are expecting to grow in the future. That's very important and clarification. My point here, leading this program, that is very, not just platform implementation, but also a cultural changing challenge. The idea here is to share our experience in order to improve the industry, because this is the idea of these kind of topics.
So with that, I think Pablo's quote was spot on with what we're seeing in the industry. So we're seeing the four pressures within our telecom industry are that the challenges that come with OTT intruders. We have new consumption patterns with our customers. Internet of Things are taken over to provide new business models and devices, and this massive race to 5G. So I'll share just a little bit where we work with over 30 plus telecom providers today at IBM, and the pressure that you see on the screen is just this massive increase of traffic every year. So between the hours of 8 and 10 every night, prime time, the entire network is consumed by 2 channels, right? Does anybody know what those 2 channels are? Take a guess. It's Netflix and YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. So that increase is massive, but every year there's declining revenue per user, so that's a huge pressure. The second pressure that I see is this innovation around providing new and better customer experience, and but also constrained with legacy. So Max is going to talk about a little bit about the legacy systems that they have today at Telecom. And the third pressure that you see here is that this operating cost, to optimize more costs as the race to 5G. And the last thing is that the difficulty of capturing new revenue resources and sources while defining the brand or defining new market position. So what we see across our customers across the globe are they're adopting these 3 strategies to address these pressures. They're building a richer digital experience. They're transforming the network and virtualizing it. And then, of course, increased margin through automation, RPA, robotics processing, and AI. And to give you an idea how large the network transformation is taking place, by 2020, the providers are spending close to $104 billion to virtualize the network. And Max is going to talk about this rich digital experience that this FAN program is bringing to Telecom Argentina. I'll share this some data points that we have with our global survey. So IBM does this survey every year where we reach out to over 20,000 customers or clients or so. This year, 12,000 responded across 21 countries. And these are some pretty neat, data points to take with you because it'll give you an idea why transformation at Telecom Argentina is taking place. So I'll give you 2 data points here about the expectation of 5G. 72% are expecting quicker response time. So when you're gaming or if you're at a stadium watching video, 72% expect that's going to be faster. The interesting thing here is that 56% want faster download speed. So when you're at the airport and you're about to get on a plane, you want that Netflix movie on your device in a millisecond versus what it takes today. And the second data point here is around automation and AI and support. And we're seeing this across our customer where with AI and support, 62% wants instant response and 24/7 service by 50% of the respondents. And I'll close with this, is that this is the interesting one that we saw that is really driving the pressure across all the providers, that 2/3 of all respondents said they would switch to another provider now if they get a better quality video experience. And that's the new consumption model that we see today. So with that pressure of keeping your customers, this is where the industry is going. It's basically taking place where communication providers are becoming digital service providers. And these are the tactics that deploying to get there. Things like new revenue model, new offers, being a more personalized engagement, and of course, helping the bottom line, which is digital first, omni-channel, self-service to the core, as well as deploying AI. So with that, I want to kind of get into the story of the fan experience and the fan program from Maxi. Wanted to see how the background of this program and addressing those challenges and taking that head on.
With the merge with Cablevisión, our challenge was, it's not that slide, it's the previous one, but anyway. The idea was to be the first operator to be able to offer the quad play approach with a quad play offer in Argentina. Doing that, we have the challenge to understand how we are going to synchronize this new platform with all our legacy systems. Moving to the cloud would allow us to have just one record, only record for each customer, so they can improve and they can enjoy the omni-channel experience. With the siloed architecture that we have due to the previous mergers that we have suffering, like any other telco company around the world must have, we understood that we have to create a new CRM. Our approach was more not like the traditional one that Salesforce Velocities are running, because we are not creating different layers, integrating with our legacy systems and then deploying new functionalities. Unfortunately, our approach, due to our legacy systems were extremely weak and unstable, we have decided to create the whole thing, more than 200 commercial processes for one, from the in one option. So this was a tremendous opportunity to create things from nothing, from scratch. But on the other hand, was extremely challenging because we had to deal what the business requirements were, and also with what Salesforce Velocity and the processes that they are bringing was matching our expectations. Having that was enable us not just to improve our customer experience, but also our employees' experience. Having the opportunity not only to switch to different screens and go deep in through different clicks to get information, they will have time, because it is going to be in just one screen, they will have time to go and concentrate in the customer service. This is the key option once we decided to move in this digital transformation. Just a little information regarding Telecom Argentina. We have operations in 3 different countries. In Paraguay, we have an activity that has 2.3 million subscribers over a population of around 7 million. In Uruguay, we have a cable operation that just have 150K, around 150K subscribers. And in Argentina, is the biggest operation with around 30 million subscribers over a population of around 45 million inhabitants. Going deep in Telecom Argentina specifically, we have 19 million mobile subscribers with a market share in the mobile of around 31%. We have 4.1 million broadband subscribers having a 55% of the market share, 3.5 million pay TV subscribers with 37% of the market share, and we still have fixed line subscribers, 3.3, even though it's decreasing, we have around 50% of the market share. That's to have a deep understanding of the volumes and the risk that the TA was taking once analyzing to move everything, customer information, all the customer information to the cloud. Based on the merge, we became the first operator to be able to offer the quad play in Argentina. That is, it's advantage competitive, but on the other hand, we have to create what is the support in order to do that in a correct way. Talking about numbers, our company had revenues of 3.7 billion US in the till third quarter this year, and an EBITDA of 1.2 billion also. The spread of the revenues is for sure mobile is the most important, followed by the broadband and then the pay TV. And as I said, many other telco companies have suffered through the years different mergers. And with the last one we had last year, we understood that we had the opportunity to create a unique vision of our customers. We had different customer ID for each one in each company. Our customers receive one single bill for each of the services, not just in one bill. They have received separate bills because we have a complete IT infrastructure for each of the services. Say that, we saw the opportunity to leverage that, and it's a must, was a need. So we decided to move forward and go for the option of implementing a new CRM with a new order management, with a new billing system, and with a new collection system. So we are changing the whole infrastructure for the following months. As I said, the business opportunities and needs were not only having the unique client view, but also improve the customer experiences. As I said, if we have different bills, imagine trying to get an omni-channel experience. What's impossible? The big challenge was not just to simplify the processes following what Velocity have developed through the BPLs, but also, and this is very important, to reduce the catalog. This is one of the main challenges that we had coming from an on-premise situation when our marketing and sales department were used to create new plans every other day. Well, hey guys, going to the cloud, we'll have the challenge to reduce that, and this is was one of the keys. And for sure, not less important, was the operating efficiency. We are doing that not just to improve our customer with customer-centric view and perspective, but also internally to get more efficiency. When I said the transformation, is because what was really important for us was to understand that the way we used to do things is no longer to be the same in the future. We have to avoid, and telcos are specialists in customizing every process. Unfortunately, Imagine after the merge of 3 different companies, we have sales processes completely different. So with the approach of having just one implementation or new CRM, we had the opportunity to create and leverage that, focusing in the client, simplifying that in every detail, questioning every decision. And one of the things that we have learned is that the business has to be in the table with us. Technical team and commercial team have to work together when we design the new processes. Otherwise, it's just the technical team providing services, but not enabling and not taking advantage of what these new platforms, Salesforce Velocities, was bringing us. Creating this unique record for each of our customers implies that we have to move the data and synchronize everything with our legacy systems. Even though we are not integrating with the CRM systems, we are still integrating with other legacy systems. We have around integrations with 80 legacy systems. That's done. We had the approach starting with the mobile business. We have started developing prepaid, and right now we are finishing postpaid, and I will challenge everybody here because we have to implement postpaid next week. That's a challenge.
Tomorrow.
It's the due date. And after that, once we stabilize the platform, the idea is to start the design and the development of the quad play. Having all the vendors here, because we have, I would change, it's not the vendors, it's the partners. We prefer to call them the partners because actually we are building something that is worth for the company. Having all the partners in the same page is the most challenge that we had in the program in the last 2 years. The role of having a strong integrator was very important because it's the one that helped us to synchronize all the vendors having the same plan, everybody. And referring to quad play, we are going to include Nokia as the order service management. So we have another partner coming to the table. So that's very important. It's key. And the IBM Blue Wolf role leading that deserves my thanks and my congratulations.
Okay, thank you, Maxi. This is something that we trying to have the unique view about the customer. We also need to be close to the out of the box of each solution, because as you know, the business are very creative. They ask many things, and it's very easy to go to the custom side, but then we have to maintain the custom. So for us, it's very, very important to be sticky to the out-of-the-box, Velocity, and Salesforce in order to let the operation have a smoothly maintenance on that. Next. This is what we had.
This is the picture of what our infrastructure was. I will not into details. It's impossible. And it's something important. I'm leading this transformation, and I'm not a technical guy. I'm coming from business. This is a very important decision that TA took, that someone from business should run a transformation program like this. Because it's not just a technical issue implementing something, a platform. It's just a cultural thing. And business is involved 100% and owns this. Having this.
Yeah, that's from Dan.
None.
There you go.
No, we have screens about how representative ones have to have a clear understanding, 360 view of our customer. They have to go through these 7 or 8 screens just to have an understanding of what the situation was for each customer. It's impossible and it requires a lot of time. That's why we chose Velocity. The idea was to simplify almost everything. We are using the part of sales, care, and community from Velocity. And as I said, we are implementing the billing using CVSF, the module CVS from Huawei, the order management with the solution also with Velocity, and the service order management coming from Nokia. This is the structure that we are going to have for the Quad Play, and it's already implementing for mobile. It's live, it's working, and in the next minutes we are going to show some of the metrics that we are having right now because it's very important. I don't know, Dan, do you want to add something regarding?
I was just going to comment.
Yeah.
Historically,
There you go.
so historically, communication service providers had kind of a tough choice. On the one hand, if they wanted a lot of choice, they could take a best-of-breed approach and buy a bunch of different software components. Or they could make a big bet with a company like an Amdocs or Netcracker who would provide it all. But service providers would forfeit control. And I think one of the beauties about the Salesforce platform is they enable both choice and they enable that consistency and they enable tremendous innovation. And I think as I think back, 4 years ago to when we got to know each other, you realize that this is now really a platform world, and being able to deliver all of this together on the Salesforce platform is really key to simplicity.
Yep, good. One of the metrics that we had, for example, the Streamlab processes, we have reduced the number of clicks and screens by 70%. Huge. I would say the operation is really happy. They are fans. We have fans everywhere. Everywhere we go, they are fans of what we are delivering right now. The commercial processes, as I said, we had 200, and we reduced it to 70. That is because we were sticky and rigid, taking the out of the box. That's why the standard processes of the industry that Velocity has developed over Salesforce is very, very important, and was the key to approach the business and negotiate the simplification as a must. The 360 view that was, we showed the different screens that were 7, we reduced this to 2. That's huge. The operation levels. And also the change of plan, that is something neural for our telco operation, is every time that our customer wants to interact with us, we have to offer him an upgrade. And the change of plan is the name, the action of that. And we reduce this for 7 processes to just 2. That was key, was simplifying not only the process, but also helping us to simplify the catalog. And remember always that I mentioned the catalog, because if we simplify the processes without the catalog, it's not going to work in the cloud.
Okay, just to give you some insight about our program, actually our CRM, OM, Plus, were in an agile methodology, but we have some other players running in the waterfall methodology. So it was a challenge to have a unique timeline in order to let Telecom have the end-to-end testing experience. So it was a lot of work behind that, how to define an MVP, how to put all together in the same table to decide how we are going to plan each piece in order to let Telecom has this experience. This is something that we need to improve, and we are still working on that. because it's very important to move into a DevOps experience, to the continuous deployment. So our main challenge today is to define which is the piece across all the vendors that we need to have in order to let move into production very quickly.
Yeah, there was a challenge, sorry, Dan, not just for how to create and develop the functionalities, but also the knowledge transfer about how to run this. Was impossible to, it's a great mistake if we just develop and concentrate our efforts in the functionalities without understanding how this is going to work in this new world with multi-cloud or hybrid clouds in the TA's ecosystem.
I was just going to dovetail on a comment made a few minutes ago about not only is there technology transformation, but importantly, cultural transformation and role transformation. So in a traditional IT project, business plays sort of a bookend role where they'll define the capabilities, and then there's a lot of waiting, and it may be 6 months, it may be a year, maybe 2 years, and then there's the great reveal of the system that's been delivered, and then they're engaged again. And I think one of the big parts of this journey has been helping to convince Telecom Argentina's product owners and business owners is the importance of them playing a role throughout the process, defining the simplified products, defining the epics, defining the journeys, and being involved in every sprint and providing feedback on the results of the team. And so that teamwork and having business and IT and partners at the table is absolutely essential.
Yep. And what we have done till now, even though, as I said, postpaid is going to be live next week, crossing fingers, we already have prepaid, and we have in 10 different locations in Argentina already running this prepaid solution. That's why we can say and share that the case resolution is 120% faster than it was before. The average call time for prepaid has been reduced from 10 minutes to 4. Imagine that in an operation that receives around 7 million calls from customers each month. It's huge. That's the kind of efficiency that I was mentioning before. Something very important, and maybe for a different market is a common thing, but unfortunately in South America it's not common. We achieve that the operation is 100% paperless. That's a must. That's something that even our customers were requiring, but with the ecosystem we had before, it was impossible to achieve. So this is, and that's why I'm mentioning, pointing that it's really, really important. The portfolio, the catalog, we've reduced it by 70%. It was not easy, I have to admit, and I'm sharing. It was not easy. Our sales and marketing people were willing to have offers, personalized, even personalized offers. It's impossible in this new ecosystem because we have to go and simplify things. And it's a challenge that is better for everyone, not just in terms of technology. We implemented the store pickup with the different systems that I don't mention, but you saw the picture. It was impossible to establish the store pickup because the omnichannel experience was not available. So right now, we have the store pickup. That's something that is improving and is something that our customers are needing. They are demanding this kind of experience. So with this implementation, we're doing that. And imagine if we receive 7 million calls, it's because we have around 7 agents in our contact centers. And we have reduced the time to train those representatives by 40%. We went for 10 days to 4 days. That's even for the operation is a must. There are the kind of efficiencies that this simplification is bringing us.
Good. So this is a view that we wanted to bring to share a little bit the experience of the team. To be honest, when I first landed in Argentina, I was probably not expecting this kind of maturity of running a transformation program. And on the screen, what you see is the very basic 4 phases of, I would like to call them feelings of during the transformation. When you're planning, you're excited, but you basically have quite a lot of anxiety of what you really need to do, how it's going to affect you. And that has an impact on everyone in the program or involved or around. And then when you're doing, it's probably more hard work and long timelines until you get to deployment and the key days, those crazy weekends and overnights and hard work, when the situation becomes more of a personal challenge for some people, and we have seen that. And then...
And imagine this, many of the audiences from Latin America, the passion we put on this.
Yes.
You can.
Strong.
There's plenty of passion there. So, and then you have the last part, which is like, okay, we got here, how are we doing, how are we going to move to next phase? And probably everyone here moved from one project to the next without doing any recap. So the point here is that what I discovered and what we are running with the expedition and with TA and Blue and Velocity, it's a set of things that the TA program and the change management team with Maxi, they did that were kind of top-notch in a way we thought it was good to highlight. In the plan phase, what they do often, probably monthly, is it monthly, the Encuentro Fun?
Yeah.
Monthly.
Yeah. So it's a monthly session to literally share where we are, because they're so big and there are so many different things happening that you never know what the other people are doing. And that clarity, it's such a stable foundation that everyone can hold on to. And we saw it, the effect it has. And probably I had the luxury of seeing other programs, and not all the programs are running with that kind of maturity. Any comments on the Encuentro Fund?
Yeah, around 400 people are working in the program. So we have decided to let them know the situation every month. This is the only way to keep encouraging them to understand where are we going. Otherwise, each one is specializing and have a silo view. So this is very important, and this is something that we are sharing because we understand that that makes the difference.
Yeah, and it's in action. It's not just talking. One second. Yeah, the previous one. So in the do part, that's a long way. That's a long haul. Everybody's working, and you see it so far away, and it's like, well, we're never going to finish. When are we going to do something relevant? So that's where probably most of the emotions go down, and it becomes such a long distance, target. And until you get to the deploy part, when you actually demanding more from the people there, and some specific people actually are really putting most of the weight, especially the people involved in testing deployment. They have war rooms, and they run over the weekends, and you have travels, bags, and that happens to all of you in all the programs. So what they had there is something that is kind of like the Hall of Fame, like in Vegas. So to recognize people, so basically you walk on the floor, and it's like really on top of the people that really, they recognize that, and that's also in action.
Yes, we have stars. Actually, most of the time we recognize individual contributors, sometimes teams, so they have their star in the floor, so everybody knows that we really appreciate their effort.
Yeah, some of the things that I always share with the team is, people, we are doing history. We are changing things deeply. Because somehow we have the young people that is more willing and accepting changes, and we have other people that have been working for us for many years. So somehow we have to make them understand that changing is not an option, and it's not an option, sorry, it's a must. And we are doing that, and we are going for that.
Yeah, so that's probably linking with the recap. TA is showing a substantial level of reflection as a program, and especially now that we're finishing the first phase, they're moving into the new phase that is quad, and it's like, how are we going to get into quad? And that's probably when you do the retrospective.
Yes,
yeah? That's another example.
Okay, so we go lessons learned.
I think that our most important lesson learned here is the technical people, the IT people, we must work together with the business because they guide us how we are going to make this happen. It doesn't make any sense that we think on the technical side without the business view because what we are going to deploy, it could not have value. So this is something that is a very new approach in this kind of transformation. Most of the time, the telecom transformation were leading by IT. And it is a challenge for the IT people, but it makes the difference.
Yeah, one also of the lessons learned there, it says transformation is hard but rewarding. I talked about this with many people in TA, and many of them said this program has drained so much from me. But all of them, they said, I want to stay and I want to see it happening. So it's kind of this mixed feelings that you're part of something great, but still you're giving it all. So we're definitely not selling that this was an easy-peasy piece of work for anyone. But most of them are actually proud of being involved in this. Like you said, Maxi, it's changing history.
And something difficult is to keep the focus on the important things, because we are trying to achieve everything. And once the cell is working agile in different aspects, they tend to put everything together and not to focus just on important things. And I repeat, keeping and adapting the simple and the out of the box is a must.
It's the most challenging part, to keep it simple and not in the as-is model.
Yeah.
So this is...
There's a good one there that says, experience matters. And that's basically, if you have done it, it really changes quite a lot on your experience when you're going to the next phase and next phase. So that's kind of in the mindset of, deploy often, fail fast, and get the experience. Get really your hands dirty, so we are doing it. And that's the approach for the next phases, basically.
Yeah, we are expecting postpaid for next week. I will repeat it as many times as possible because all my partners are here, so they have to understand that. Then we will start the mobile customers migration. Till now, we have operations in different locations, in 10, but we haven't moved our customers, the millions of customers, to this new platform. That is going to happen or going to start in December. We are designing and developing Quad Play. That's our next step. And we are developing a new e-commerce and app, a new app to integrate with this new ecosystem. This is also a must and is synchronized with the time and the schedule that we have in the program. And something important is the Agile is already embedded in our daily activities. So it's a next step, but it's already in our culture. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope it was helpful. And there's some
Questions?
Questions, yeah. We're finishing on time, which is very Latin.
I think there is a microphone here. You have to.
Yeah.
Thanks. When you integrated Salesforce to the back office, what platforms did you use for that?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Salesforce integration to the back office, what integration platforms did you use?
No lo entiendo. We use, for the batch processes, Informatica.
And when an agent's placing an order through Salesforce, did they have to swivel back to the back office to enter it twice?
No lo entiendo.
We cannot really hear you that well. If you speak closer to the mic, it's probably better.
When agents were entering orders into Salesforce, did they have to re-enter it again into the back office platform?
No.
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 It's just one activity, and it replicates in everything.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Hi. First of all, congratulations for the project. It's a huge project,
Thank you.
right? And my doubt is, you are implementing the whole process, right? Sales and order entry and everything at the same time.
Yes.
So in the prep grade, you already have done already, and you are going to implement, like next week, isn't it?
Yes, for tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
For postpaid.
Postpaid.
We already have this
Prepaid.
pre-sales, pre-activation,
Right.
and sales, and post-sales activities for prepaid.
Okay. So regarding the performance of the implementation, can you comment something about the performance regarding velocity and all the other process that you are implementing?
We don't have any issues regarding the performance yet. Also, we have testing a lot of performance tests previously, and we don't have issues. Remember that we haven't moved millions of customers yet. So we have tail locations that are having the prepaid in Velocity Salesforce, but we don't have millions of customers. So for sure, we're monitoring that. And if you wait till next Dreamforce, I will tell you.
Yeah, but what we can also probably add is that we did stress test the platform with Velocity to get ready. Let's just be clear, this is 25 million users in
Just to let you know,
B2C.
we are with OM Plus on AWS. We have CPQ EPC on the Velocity Salesforce platform. OM is on AWS.
Last question.
You want to comment?
Any other question?
One more?
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Wait,